Welcome to the regularly scheduled public meeting of November 9th, 2020 of the Township of Washington Township Council. Adequate notice of the meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by the Township Clerk to at least 2 newspapers in January, and this meeting has been posted on the Township Bulletin Board, electronic message board, WCTV, and on the Township website. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Amen.
Do roll call, please.
Councilman Casio. Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Let the record reflect also in attendance Mayor Calamari, Township Attorney Poller, and Township Clerk Wachowski. So public service announcements for November 9th, 2020. For the latest updates and message from our health officer, please visit the Township website for coronavirus updates. Also, please know there are some additional coronavirus information out on the Township website. DPW reminders, leaf pickup has begun. Please visit the website for the schedule. The taxes, fourth quarter taxes were due November 1st, and there is a grace period through Tuesday, November 10th. Please note, as of November 15th, the e-check convenience fee for online payments will now be $1.95. The credit and debit card fee remains the same at 2.95%. These are charged by the processor, not the township. 2019 senior freeze on property tax reimbursement. The governor's budget fully funds the 2019 senior freeze program. Payments are expected to be paid to eligible taxpayers beginning on October 15, 2020. The application deadline for the 2019 senior freeze program has been extended to December 31st, 2020. The 2017 homestead benefit. The 2017 homestead benefit payments will be paid to eligible taxpayers beginning May 2021. Northwest Bergen Regional Health Commission will be hosting a flu clinic on November 11th from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. in the Waldwick Adult Services Clinic at 22 Whites Lane in Waldwick. Residents from any town may attend. A limited number of both the regular and high-dose vaccines, 65 years and older, will be administered. The clinic is by appointment only. Walk-ins will not be accommodated. To schedule an appointment, please call 201-445-7217, extension 201. Again, that's 201-445-7217, extension 201. Scheduled patients will remain in their cars to fill out paperwork upon arrival. The 2020 PBA Toy Drive. The 32nd annual PBA Toy Drive is happening. Over 45 participating agencies collecting toys to make the holiday special. Tomorrow's Children's Hospital, U.S. Military Families, Valley Hospital Pediatric Center are just a few organizations that benefit from our toy drive. Please donate a new unwrapped toy to our police headquarters located at 350 Hudson Avenue. We're on to the report of the mayor. Mayor Calamari.
Thank you, Stacy. Good evening, everyone. A member of the administrative staff who has had limited interaction with most of the town employees has tested positive for COVID-19. As a result, that employee will be self-quarantining and will have to follow all CDC and health department guidelines before returning to work in approximately 2 weeks. Therefore, the town hall staff will all work remotely for at least this coming week of November 9th. According to numbers supplied by the county on November 6th, our town residents have had 151 confirmed positive COVID cases. Please do not let your guard down against this terrible disease that is causing so many sicknesses and deaths worldwide. Hopefully with this morning's announcement regarding a vaccine that there is light at the end of the tunnel. If you are able to do so for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday, please consider making a monetary or food donation to a food pantry this year. I have a relative who runs one not far from here, and he tells me the need is especially great this year. Although we were not able to hold our usual Halloween celebration this year, that did not deny the residents of the township the ability to take part in different ways of celebrating. We had two great family-friendly Halloween drive-in movies at the Bethany Community Center, The Addams Family and Ghostbusters. Free signs were made available for people to display at their homes to indicate they would be participating in safe distancing trick-or-treating. We had a pumpkin carving contest. We offered a haunted history evening in the library parking lot. We had a home decorating contest with a map available to see all the homes that entered the contest. I cannot thank the residents who participated in these events enough. It really shows what makes our town its best, its residents. Also, Halloween was the first anniversary of our pal Vito Trouse's passing. We had a beautiful ceremony to celebrate the life of everyone's pal and to rename part of Ridgewood Road to Vito Pal Trouse Way. It was a fitting tribute and well-attended event by people of all ages to show what he meant to all of us in the community. I want to thank everyone who participated in the event. So many people described him as a rock star, and although that is true, it really does not begin to describe the person he was. Words cannot do him justice. I know I am a better person to have known him. As I said in my remarks that day, the town has been an emptier place this year without him. The town conducted its final shredding and e-cycling event for this year on October 17th at the Bethany Community Center. It was its usual success. We look forward to holding more of them next year. I want to recognize the effort put forth by Sue Witkowski, Cornelia Lisa, and all the poll workers for making Election Day in the township run as smoothly as it did during these difficult times. I'm happy to report that just under 6,000 people in town cast a vote in one of the many ways that were made available this year. I did have a paragraph about Veterans Day, but I found out right before the meeting that our ceremony is being canceled because the weather forecast is not looking good and we cannot hold it inside. So if you see a veteran, please give them your thanks for their service. Due to COVID, the funding by the state to transport styrofoam to the recycling center was suspended for at least the balance of this year. After Green Team Chairperson Tom Sears notified the administration, money was found in our local budget by Administrator Tovo. We are happy with the holidays coming up that we can restore this important environmental program. Please check the Green Team's Facebook page regularly for updates on this and many other programs. The progress on our new fire and ambulance building continues. We were thrown a slight curveball when an oil tank and septic system were found underneath the site. It was determined that they belonged to a house that used to be on the site when there were no regulations in place to remove them. Our local fire department was out of service from October 20th through November 3rd due to a COVID exposure incident. Out of an abundance of caution, 3 members of the department were asked to quarantine. The members of the department were tested, and the testing yielded 0 positive cases. We wish to thank our mutual aid partners from Hillsdale, Paramus, and Woodcliff Lake for their assistance in being on call and answering 3 calls during that time. On behalf of everyone who works for the township, we wish you and yours a blessed, safe, and enjoyable Thanksgiving holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Cummings.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. We are getting very, very close to having given out the contract on the energy management system, and I expect to be up in the building working with the contractor within the next 2 weeks if all goes well with the newly ordered equipment. So we should have everything running on a computer screen, which will be visible to several people in the administration and the DPW, of course, in order to program events and deprogram the building when the machines are not needed for service daily. So I'm very excited about the new project, and due to a lot of effort on Mr. Tovo's part, it seems to have gone through successfully, and I thank him very much for his efforts. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Councilman Cummings. Councilman Senna.
No report tonight, Mrs. Feeney.
Oh, okay. Councilwoman Morgan.
I have no report.
Thank you. And my report is I wanted to say thanks. Halloween was great. I really enjoyed seeing all the kids out and all the families out. I attended the Ghostbusters event, which I have to tell you, my daughter had never seen Ghostbusters before, and she loved every minute of it. So it was great. And thank you to the police, and to council, to Daisy Velez and to our mayor for making it such a great event. And that's all I have for this evening. General public discussion. Limit to 5 minutes. To participate in the general public comment portion of the meeting, please dial in on 201-664-4659. You will be asked to state your name and address for the record, and we ask that only one person speak at a time. Please note that at the end of the general public discussion, no more calls will be accepted. Motion to open the public discussion.
So moved.
Second.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sue, please open the line. So much louder on my computer.
Oh, it says busy. How could it say busy?
I
Hello?
will comment that we are going.
Hello? Is there anyone on the line?
Hello.
All right, we need one at a time, and if you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, Anthony Calea, ANCHONYCALLEA. I'm at 6 Catharina Place, Washington Township.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Calea. What can we do for you?
Good evening. I was calling in regarding the Viviano complex being proposed off of Van Emberg.
Mr. Clay, I'm really sorry, but the beginning of your comment was garbled. Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I'm calling regarding the Viviano mega complex that's being proposed for Van Emberg Avenue.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just curious, I live on Catharina. We live in a neighborhood of half-acre lots, pretty much as far as the eye can see, and my taxes reflect that at $25,000 a year. I wonder if this project goes through as proposed, how much I might expect my taxes to go down since my neighborhood now is known for high density.
Someone will have to get back to you on that. Actually, we're taking this as public comment in this format. So if you'd like to give us your questions, we can have someone get back to you.
Yeah, my question would be how the changing of my neighborhood to a high density zone neighborhood would, how much that would lower my taxes by.
Okay, I will have to get with the town and get back to you on that.
I'd love to just find out because, I feel like if it's going to be high density, that would mean that I wouldn't be paying premium like I am now.
Absolutely understood.
Okay,
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, who do I follow up on that, or do I email somebody? Or?
No. I took your question, and we'll have someone get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm taking notes as you're speaking to the council.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on the line?
Yes, hi. Diane Grimaldi, 441 Van Emberg Avenue. I have a couple of questions, please. First of all, I'm looking to see if we can get an update on when and if the township can expect to see council meetings live streamed. I believe it was at the October 5th meeting that Council President Feeney said that there had been a box ordered 4 weeks prior. It's going to make it possible to live stream the meetings so that more residents can watch and take part. That's my first question.
I will tell you, Mrs. Grimaldi, I meant to speak it at my my opening remarks. The box has been ordered, and due to shipping problems that we've all experienced because of COVID, it was delayed, but we should have it shortly.
Okay, thank you. My second question is about one of the resolutions. I believe it's Resolution 2014. I'd like to understand how the Vivianos would be getting a tax refund of over $12,000 for 2020 when they actually got farmland exemption back in 2019 and only paid $48 and change in 2019. I don't understand how the Vivianos could have possibly have overpaid if that was the case, or how the mistake could have been made by our tax collector by accepting it. I'd love a little clarification on that. And my next question is, it's just, I wanted to know whether the building department has been working full-time since the closing of the building of Town Hall in March. And because I do have neighbors that have been having two neighbors that have been having a lot of problems trying to reach somebody on the phone and get permits. And my last question, and I hope I get an update, although I see you don't have a conference agenda, and well, it wasn't on the conference agenda anyway. I was wondering if there was any resolution to where the DPW was going to be temporarily located while the remediation and the new construction was being done. And those are my questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for calling in. Is there anyone else on the line?
Hi there, this is Arun Scaria, 7 Katharina Place. Spelled A-R-U-N, last name is Scaria, S-K-A-R-I-A.
Yes, Mr. Scaria, how are you?
Good, how are you? First of all, thank you all for your service, really appreciate it. I also had the privilege of making some comments to the planning board, you know, on the Viviano property, but that's where my comments also lie. I just wanted to, just a general comment. I have 2 children at Washington School, and with the 75 plus Viviano mega complex that's going to be built, I just wanted to, you know, get some statements on the record about the town council looking into how that's going to affect Washington School, because that's where it's going to be zoned, and how the town is going to cope with the 75 plus houses and what that does for Washington School, which is already overcrowded with, and that we've experienced during COVID. So that's my first comment, just, you know, kind of thinking through that and thinking through what that means for taxes, what that means for how Washington schools can be adapted to address all those children that could potentially be there. The second comment is around the residents that live on Katharina Place in Vandenberg. One of the things we notice often is stormwater problems in this area. And, you know, I mentioned this to the planning board as well, but as the planning board reviews the state, county stormwater regulations to make sure that the whatever, you know, plans are accepted, I'm urging the overall town council to also validate that, because I think that's going to be the biggest concern that we have and potential problems down the road in terms of stormwater management. So as a overall check on both the planning board process as the council, you know, really paying attention to that. And then my final comment is around the settlement agreement. You know, this settlement agreement was done about 10 years ago. And there are a lot of provisions, I think, in there that benefit the town in terms of, you know, if once you build this complex, like there's things that the Vivianos have to do in terms of payments, in terms of, you know, complying with certain regulations and rules. And it's very important that, you know, you all with the kind of responsibility that you have, making sure that the town gets all of what it's supposed to get as part of that settlement. You know, the town has already done the COA obligation to Bayonne as an example, so there's no risk of you know, COA issues. That's all done. So it's really about making sure that whatever the settlement pieces are in there, that all of those are, you know, especially since the town has been agnostic in terms of with the residents and really has been, you know, neutral to splash fighting with the developer. I think this is a chance when, you know, you're reviewing everything to making sure whatever was agreed because of that settlement, even that was before your time there. So, you know, a lot of that was outside of your control. That all of those settlement agreement provisions, that the town, this is where you back the residents and make sure that all those things are done because you already entered into that settlement agreement. So that was my final comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling in. Is there anyone else on the line?
Yes, hello?
Yes, hello.
This is Michael Ullman, 2 Clark Avenue.
Yes, Mr. Ullman, what can we do for you this evening?
Good evening. I had a question on the mayor's update regarding the new construction of the emergency services building. If it's been quantified what the additional cost would be for the remediation of septic and oil tank that was identified on the site, and what that does to the overall budget. The second question I had is regarding Resolution 20-317 regarding the purchase of a new fire truck. Do we have or have any grants been applied for or been received for this apparatus to offset the cost to the residents? So if someone could identify that actually took place. The other question I have is 20-314, which is an adjustment or a refund of taxes. It looks that it is the property has been identified as qualifying for a farmland assessment for 2020. My question to you is, at what point does that assessment sunset in terms of development on the property? Is it when the first shovel hits the ground? Is it when the first certificate of occupancy is granted? Or is there a hurdle that has to be overcome for that farmland assessment? Someone could identify what the technical hurdle is, or the actual hurdle that development has to take place for that farmland assessment to sunset, because it seems that they are doing. If not taking advantage of the situation, they are certainly not doing their fair share for the township in terms of taking that farmland or assessment. The other question I had is, or comment I had is, there is a resolution 20-315, which is a resolution to create a employment agreement between the township and the chief of police. And I'd like to understand if someone can explain the need for that. I don't, it's under a collective bargaining unit, and therefore the chief and the position of chief falls outside of that CBA for the PBA. So why are we creating another class of employee by extending this employment agreement? He's an employee of the township. He's an at-will employee of the township, I'm assuming, and he should be subject to the same rules and regulations that other township employees are applicable to those individuals. So if someone could explain to me why we are entering into this agreement and what's the purpose of it.
Anything else, Mr. Ullman?
That would be it, other than what is the typical follow-up process?
We will be, at the end of the public comment, we'll be making comments from the council, and anything that's not answered will most likely be responded to you by email if additional information is required.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night. Is there anyone else on the line?
Yes. Yes, hello?
Could you state your name and address, please?
Yeah, hi, it's Joe Durso, 12 Viola Terrace.
Good evening, Mr. Durso. What can we do for you?
How are you? Just the same as Mr. Holman, just a little curious on resolution 20-315, employment contract. The only question is, I believe this person was involved in the campaign of Council Morgan. I believe he was on the committee for the committee for your campaign. And I was just wondering, is that a conflict of interest? I do remember there was some scuttle, I guess, with the other candidate that you had on your line that you were looking to have him come off, but he couldn't because he was already bracketed. And I was just wondering, you voting tonight on this, is that a conflict of interest? Since I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the mayor had said that him and his brother, meaning this person that you're approving an employment contract for, were on the committee, on your campaign committee. And I'd just like to know whether you can vote on that or not, and is that a conflict of interest? That was really my only question, and just thank you very much.
I'm sorry, Mr. Durso, there was one part of your comment that I missed. There was another person on our campaign ticket that was blanketed. I'm sorry, is that what you said?
Well, yeah, I just want to know, this person that you're voting on, I guess it's on resolution 20-315.
No, you said somebody on our ticket was blanketed, not talking about the chief, but somebody was blanketed on our campaign ticket. Could you just explain that?
To my understanding, this person that you're approving, looking to vote on tonight, him and his brother were supporting your campaign. They were on a campaign. They were actually on your campaign committee, and I'm just wondering if there's any truth to that, whether there's not truth to that, and is it a conflict of interest for you and the other councilwoman to vote on this resolution tonight?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said somebody was blanketed or something. Okay, thank you.
No. Bracket. The other person that you ran with. I don't like to speak names on here. People can figure it out for themselves. But the other person that you ran with, I understand, to my knowledge, you were looking, or your campaign was looking to remove him, and you couldn't because I think he was bracketed, and with the three of you together. And my question is then I found out that the person that you're voting on tonight for an employment contract was part of your campaign committee along with his brother. But I just want to know if that is a conflict of interest for you and Councilwoman Morgan to vote on this resolution tonight. So you don't have to answer now.
I'm sorry.
Bring it out there.
No, I'm sorry. You bleeped out. I didn't hear the word that you said. Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks. Have a great night.
Oh, I just want to give hi. Is there anyone else on the line?
Is there anyone else?
Oh, actually, I just want to say we do have the box for live streaming in possession. It was just received today, and it wasn't used tonight because we need to test it first to make sure that it's not going to cause a problem. But it was received today, and we will have it up and working for the next council meeting, just FYI. So that's good.
Great news.
Yeah. So it was ordered a while ago, but of course, I already did my Christmas shopping because I'm worried about shipping. Okay. Is there anyone else?
Hello, yes. Hi, my name is Anthony Udina, 876 Ridgewood Boulevard East.
Yes, Mr. Udina, what can we do?
I was just wondering if there's an update on 450 Pascack Road regarding a town solution to keep it a single-family lot and to preserve the hundreds of trees that are on it. So I was just wondering if there's an update to that, anything that you can share. And the second thing is I was wondering if, maybe you can answer this now, if you're going to leave the line open after the public session is over. So I can hear what your comments are, because I do streaming television.
Yes, absolutely. We will leave the line open. Comment is over, and then
and I'll be on mute. Thanks.
Okay. Is there anyone else on the line?
Anyone else?
Motion to public comment?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Hold on, wait. Oh, okay. So our WCTV personnel upstairs, who's rookie, just said that you actually can view our council meeting now live streaming. He's running it as a test. If you want to go on, you can. If you just Google in your browser WCTV NJ on YouTube and click on Council Meetings channel, you'll be able to stream it through your computer. Just so you know. Sorry, I'm getting text messages as I'm done. So, but again, it's Google WCTV NJ on YouTube and click on the Council Meetings channel, and you can see us live through your computer. That's great. Okay, if somebody could email me and let me know if they tried it and it worked, that'd be great. Okay. Okay, public comments closed. All right, comments from council. Vice President Cummings, do you have any comments? Wait,
He's muted.
or you're on. I have to tell you, I attended another Zoom meeting for the town.
I'm sorry.
Everybody was having.
I don't have any comments to make at this time. I'd be happy to contribute what I might later by email.
Okay, Councilman DeSena.
Yes, quick things. On the Viviano, I'm gonna ask for that to be tabled tonight. I'd like a report from our tax assessor, Murdy, on the woodland plan and how he's saying it's up to date. It clearly states in the woodland plan that they need to replant trees and they need receipts for the firewood for the amount they need to sell every year. I'd like to make sure, because it's a three-year plan, only reviewed by the DEP on year 3. So years 1, 2, and 3 is reviewed by our tax assessor and is certified by him. So I'd like a report from him before we approve that resolution. The building department hours, I hope this gets resolved soon. I've gotten complaints. People have had permits out since August, that are still outstanding, and they're having issues. The building department closes. There's not it's different people, different days, working part-time. I hope we can get this resolved. 450 Pascack Road, we met with the residents, and it is a single family lot, and that's what it's zoned for. Any changes to that lot will need to go in front of the planning or zoning appropriate board. That's all we have at this time, without getting any more information from our grant consultant. All I have, Mrs. Feeney.
Great, thank you. Councilwoman Morgan.
I have no comments at this time.
Thank you. Okay, so about, I definitely agree with Mr. and Mr. Scuria about finding out about if there is any going to change to your taxes. I think I'm going to talk to the administration about that. I agree also, if we're having some problems with the building department hours, I think it needs to be looked at to see what's going on. Also, I just got another text message from WCTV and our Facebook professionals that there's also a link on our Facebook page to watch the meeting too, to try it out tonight. So sorry about that. in regard to the building department, again, I think we should look at the time. At the current time, there is not, Mr. Grimaldi, a resolution for the DPW on location. There's no final decision been made, so there's no further information regarding that. I definitely would like, Mr. Mayor, if possible, could you pull together a meeting with Superintendent Gonzalez and we could talk about future plans, or if they even have any ideas?
For what, the impact of the new development? Okay.
Okay, let me know. I'm available anytime to meet with the superintendent, and I think you should be involved, probably Administrator Tovo, so that we get, ahead of it, since it hasn't broken ground yet. Let's get ahead of that. Because the former Washington school parent, I have to agree with this Korea very wholeheartedly about that. And if there's stormwater problems, I hope we will involve our engineer to make sure that everything that we're entitled to absolutely gets addressed. I don't have anything on the remediation of the septic and the oil tank that was done. I'll leave that to the mayor and Mr. Tovo. I know that there are grants being explored for the fire trucks, but with COVID, last time we spoke to the grant writer, he didn't have anything at the time, but he was going to explore further as more grants were released. The employment agreement for Chief Skinner, I'm going to defer to Mr. Paul on. I am of the opinion that it is a good idea since he is outside of the PBA as being chief. Just my professional opinion. I do not believe that, and I'm going to defer to Mr. Pollard, is a conflict of interest. Police officers can participate in political actions when off duty. They have the same rights as all citizens. They are taxpayers in this town, and they are absolutely entitled to their political opinion as long as it's off duty. Again, there is not a current action for 450 Pascack, as Councilman DeSena said. I know that it's hard to wait for us to get back to you, but it does take some time. But I do know that it is being considered, addressed, not only with council, but the administration also. And that's all I have for this evening. So, Mr. Mayor, do you have anything to comment on?
Yes, thank you. To Mr. Kalea's question, I'll certainly ask the tax assessor if there's any way he can estimate what tax impact that will have on the immediate area around the potential development. The building department is working full-time. They are varying their schedule a little because their office is a little tight for COVID-19 reasons, but they are there full-time. If anyone is having an issue, please email them or give them a call. If you email them, please copy the administrator and myself, because that way we're happy to follow up with them also. Regarding a DPW temporary location, we have a little roadblock in using Sherry Field to put any type of temporary buildings there because that is a Green Acres site, and Green Acres doesn't look kindly on building even a temporary site for things. So met with the engineer today and members of the DPW. We think we have an alternate plan that will work, but I'll have to report on that next meeting. School overcrowding, Councilwoman just asked me about. Other things like the stormwater settlement, unfortunately, I'm not going to comment since I sit on the planning board. I don't want to comment outside of that board. Answer Mr. Ullman's question, we are getting pricing on removing the septic and oil tank. They don't think it will be significant, but they don't know for sure until they get in there. As Councilwoman Feeney said, no grant for the new truck yet, but the grant writer is always looking for them because he knows it's imminent. The Viviano tax status that I can comment on, at least that I will have him look into to see when that farmland designation gets removed. Regarding the police chief agreement, most of the towns around us have separate agreements because of the nature of that position. He is in command of a 24/7 department. So that kind of falls outside of the usual township employee contract. So we feel that, he should have a contract, that it calls for a contract with that duty. Just to dispel any rumor, Rich, the chief was not on any election committee. I was the campaign manager, and so I can state that unequivocally that he was not on a committee. Ridgewood Boulevard East, I called the number on the sign that's out there, and at least what I was told was, although the sign is up, it is not currently for sale. So that was as far as I took it. So I hope I answered most, if not all, of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I did want to mention on the Viviano property, I did do a little research today that there was a county judgment allotting for the farm, it's a Q farm qualification. So that did come from the county, just so everyone is aware. And I did look it up on the tax classification, and they are, but that does come from the county, just so everyone is aware. Okay. Mr. Pollard, do you have any comments?
No, other than what you were saying that I agree with in terms of there not being a conflict for you or Desiree to vote on the contract. Interesting that the mayor already pointed out that nobody was on any committee anyway. Not that that would mean anything anyway, but there's no conflict. If we start to get into people not being able to do anything at all, I think everybody sitting up there right now would be able to vote on anything.
I believe that I no longer have a conflict.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So, I want to just close the phone line. Can you just let the people on the phone know that we're going to close the line now, since the comments are from the council and administration are.
Sure. Since the council has responded to your comments that have been asked, we're going to close the line at this time. Thank you for your call-in.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Stacy?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just
One thing I would say that you might want to do, since you're going to contact the assessor on the Viviano issue, okay, that which is, I think it's a good point. You might also have him comment on one of the questions that was when the farmland assessment sunsets. Taxes can start at a variety of places depending upon, and I've seen it different in different towns depending upon the assessor. Sometimes there are partial assessments when partial improvements are there. Sometimes there was taxing when the CO is issued, so it varies. So you might want to give that to Murdy to comment on how he interprets the if and when the Viviano property is developed. At what point does it not qualify for farmland assessment because it's been an approved development and probably construction? So he could comment.
Can we also,
yep.
Mr. Pollack, can we also find out what the rollback, how many years rollback?
Oh, I already emailed Mr. Murdy with some questions regarding this, and I'll add those. The question you asked, Mike, I already sent an email to him and asked him for.
Yeah, I'd like to know how many years rollback taxes we get back.
Right.
Well, that some of this did come from a judgment that happened at the county level. So I'm trying to get those documents. But typically, if there's anything in there that states that, because typically that would be in there. So if I can get those documents, I don't know if it's public record or not, or if it's been made.
Murdy will have these answers for you.
He will. Okay.
He will.
I emailed him earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do know that most towns in New Jersey state that it's typically when the sale of the property, the new home is finished, and it goes up for sale is when the property tax is assessed. I mean, that seems to be common practice. I don't know if that's accurate, but.
I've been involved where as soon as the developer takes over the property, taxes begin.
Okay.
And I've seen a lot of interim things too, partial developments. I've seen partial improvements. I've seen sales on the COs. So that's why I'm saying that really you should ask Murdy his view of what his practice is.
No problem. Okay. Okay, we're moving on to, is everybody good? Does anybody have other comments? I feel bad we closed the bridge, but if they're watching on their computers, we'll let them know that we're reaching out to Murdy to find out more information. Okay, introduction, first reading, ordinance number 20-15, ordinance of the Township of.
Stacy, you need to go back a little bit to the adoption, the second reading for the grease traps, 20-13.
Oh, sorry. I was scrolled down too much, sorry. Okay, motion to adopt ordinance number 20-13, that's second reading by title. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Sue, roll call.
No, you have to have your hearing.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
So we're dialing in.
No, I'm waiting. Stacy, stop. I'm sorry. I got you. Councilman Casio. Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes.
This is to open the public hearing. Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Right, okay, thought I was reading it wrong for. If anyone desires to be heard regarding ordinance number 20-13, please dial in 201-664-4659. You'll be asked to state your name and address for the record, and we ask that only one person speak at a time. At the end of the public will be accepted. Please limit your time to 5 minutes.
The lines are open for public comment on 20-13 for grease traps. Is there anyone there on the line? Sounds quiet to me.
Okay, motion to close public hearing for ordinance 20-13.
So moved.
I'll motion, okay, I'll second. Sue, roll call.
Councilman Casio, Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Motion to adopt ordinance number 20-13, a second reading by title. I'll make the first motion. Second motion, please.
Second.
Second.
Discussion? Do we want to have we had enough discussion?
Yes.
Okay, everybody good?
Yes.
Sue, roll call.
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Mike, just say it again. We couldn't hear you.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Sue, you ready or no?
I'm ready.
Okay, introduction, first reading, ordinance number 20-15, an ordinance of the Township of Washington, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey, amending 540, Article 21, is that right?
Yes.
Of the Township Code entitled Affordable Housing to clarify and supplement provisions of the ordinance relating to very low-income households, the calculation of income, and monitoring Township's affordable housing plan in accordance with the requirements of the court, the New Jersey Fair Housing Act, and relevant regulations governing the provision of affordable housing. Motion to introduce and pass ordinance number 20-15 at first reading by title. I'll make a motion. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Sue, roll call.
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
No.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Resolution number 20-321, authorizing publication of ordinance number 20-15 and schedule a public hearing. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second. Sue, roll call. Do we need to have any discussion? Does anybody want to discuss anything before we go forward?
These are just introductions, by the way, remember.
Yeah, no
I
discussion.
understand. I'm just asking, just in case anybody needs clarification.
Okay.
Okay. Desiree seconding. Sue, roll call.
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Ordinance number 20-16, an ordinance of the Township of Washington, County of Bergen, and in the state of New Jersey, amending the supplementing chapter 513 of the Township Code entitled Development Fees to update provisions associated with affordable housing development fees. Motion to introduce and pass ordinance number 20-16, a first reading by title. I'll make a motion. I need a second, please.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Does anybody want to discuss anything before we vote? Okay, Sue, roll call.
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
No.
Councilwoman Morgan, Council President Feeney.
Yes.
Did you say no, Desiree?
I said yes.
Oh, I thought you said no. Okay, yes. Okay.
Sounded like a no.
It did.
It did.
Oh, it did. Desiree. Oh, it absolutely did, Desiree.
Sorry. Yes.
She's like,
Ken's
no,
heart
no,
stopped for a second.
Big play. I said yes.
The defibrillator out for Mr. Pollard.
Okay. Where did I leave off? Resolution number 20-322,
Yes.
publication and ordinance number 20-16, and schedule a public hearing. I'll make a motion. I need a second, please.
I'll second.
All right, Sue, roll call.
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
I'm going to just get everybody's side. Yes, yes, no.
There you go. Council President, you say yes, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Okay. Ordinance number 20-17, the warm weather's getting to everybody's brain. An ordinance of the Township of Washington, County of Bergen, and the state of New Jersey, amending Chapter 540 entitled Land Development, amending the township's mandatory affordable housing set aside requirement of the new multifamily residential development. Motion to introduce and pass ordinance number 20-17, a first reading by title. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Okay. Sue, roll call.
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
No.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes.
Was that a yes, yes, or a no, yes?
Yes, yes. Here. Okay, what's next?
Resolution 320-323.
323. Oh, okay, resolution number 20-323, authorizing publication of ordinance number 20-17 and schedule a public hearing. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, I'll make, okay. Second?
Second.
Sue, roll call?
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Okay. Individual resolutions? Okay, so resolution number 20-311, 2020 transfer of appropriations. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second. Do we want discussion? Okay, Sue, roll call?
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Resolutions, consent agenda. Following items have been determined to have unanimous consent of council and will be enacted in one motion. Should the item require independent consideration, council member may have such item removed from consent agenda. Does anybody want any of the items besides Viviano removed from the consent agenda? So besides 20-314.
Yes.
That means you're removing that one
I'm removing that one, yes.
till we get back up. Okay.
I want 20-312.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. The following, motion to approve consent agenda resolutions, resolution number 20-313, authorize refund of tax overpayment B1101 L9720 Van Emberg Avenue in the amount of $2,673.86 to Loretta. Resolution number 20-315, authorize the mayor to execute employment agreement with Richard Skinner, police chief. Resolution number 20-316, authorize extension of temporary permits for sidewalk cafes and outdoor restaurant seating during the COVID-19 pandemic shutdown recovery. Resolution number 20-317, awarding contract to Fireman Safety Services Limited for the purchase of one new Pierce fire apparatus through the Houston Galveston Area Council Cooperative Purchasing Program in the amount of $1,473,921. Resolution number 20-318, governing body certification of 2019 annual audit. Resolution number 20-319, approval of the corrective action plan for the 2019 recommendation. Motion to approve consent agenda resolutions. I'll make a motion. May I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Desiree, you're up with the bill list.
I just had a quick question. I'm sure it's nothing. I was just wondering, the Westwood Teen Center for $1764.85. What does that cover? What are we paying there? What was that?
What page is that on, Desiree?
Oh,
Yeah, are they using it now or is it closed?
page 2.
Page
Oh, no.
2?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. That's the rec summer program. I had a question about that too. Hang on a minute.
Sure.
It is on page 4.
No.
Just one down.
Four of the list.
Yeah.
Four of
Okay. I see it. Probably if Mr. Tovo was here, he would know why it's on. And I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth. That what I say would just be an assumption. So if you'd like, we can pull that one until the next meeting and get you an answer on it.
Okay. And then I also had a question on the summer rec.
What page?
I'm sorry, that was in the transfer of appropriation.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Was that just a late payment from prior year?
Recreation summer rec, the second line down.
Yeah, there's 2. There's on that page.
Yeah. We're taking money out of there because we had budgeted money, but we didn't have the program. As you see, the line above it went into a DMF vehicle equipment because the DMF exceeded their vehicle equipment budget by $10,000.
That's what I thought. So the same thing with the rec summer rec for the next page for 18, or what was that? 18,425.
Correct.
Are we going to do the same thing with cheer then? Because that's not in there, and I know we allotted a lot of money for cheer. So move some of that money somewhere.
Well, we don't typically move it unless we have a need to. So if it doesn't get spent, it will go into next year's surplus, and then we will use that on next year's budget.
Okay. Okay. That's all I had for that one, for the bill.
Okay, we'll get you an answer on the teen center.
Perfect.
I one, I didn't see it on American Asphalt, but I do want to just that those issues still have not been resolved. The pavement is still as high as it was prior to last meeting's conversation about it. They really need to take a look because with the recent rain, there was already a water issue on some of the streets because the pavement is so thick and there's no curb. So we do need to, before we pay them, they need to fix that.
Okay, if it's okay, I'll have Administrator Tovo reach out to you the next day or two, just to make sure you two are on the same page.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Does anybody else have any comments or concerns or?
Nope.
Okay.
So we need to do a motion and a second on 312.
Right. Okay. So yes, resolution number 20-312. Motion to approve. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All, roll call.
Councilman Cassio, Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Okay, as soon as I get the information about Van Emberg, about Viviano, I'll get back to everybody, okay? Because I did email Mr. Murphy, send him that other question. Can you just tell me your question one more time so I get the wording correctly? You just want to know when the rollback is for the farming qualification?
Yes, how many year rollback do the developer owes us once he starts construction?
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay.
So their farm produce is supposedly firewood?
Firewood, yes, they need to sell 500 a year, but they need to replant hardwood every year as per their hardwood maintenance plan, which I don't like to see where Mr. Murdy's seen where they planted the new saplings.
I think that's a very good question.
I'd like the receipts of the firewood that was sold in excess of $500, which is the minimum they need to sell every year.
That's absurd.
And are we allowed to ask for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
As per the plan, it says they need to produce it or their plan gets revoked.
Okay. Okay. No. Okay.
I'd buy my own $500 worth of firewood in order to get a $2 million tax cut.
Really?
Okay. I just wanted to make one announcement. I did receive some masks for the COVID-19 task force. I did have that on the conference agenda, but I just want to say publicly, if anybody needs a mask, please email the COVID task force on the website where it says mask, or you can email me directly on from my email address that's on the township website. I did get masks. The mental health support is out there. I am working on getting some tutors still. I had a few say due to COVID numbers increasing, the tutors are not willing to go to people's homes, so they backed out. I will have some information. There is Kumon is offering services, and so are a few other virtual learning centers, like Sylvan is offering some tutoring, and there's a few companies out there who are offering supplemental remote instruction. One is Varsity Tutors, and I'll be putting their information once I get authorization from them to put it out there. Again, if you need food shopping services, driven to a doctor's appointment, please reach out to the COVID-19 task force. And in the immediate future, we will be taking doing a food drive for Thanksgiving for some families in town. If anybody knows of a family that could be nominated for a food basket for Thanksgiving or gift card, please let us know. Again, please reach out on that COVID-19 task force, and the mental health information is out there. That's all I have for that right now. and this is just so everyone's aware, we're not having conference agendas in order to limit the amount of time that the staff is in town hall for WCTA. So just want to make everyone aware that decision was made today with myself and Mr. Toba to limit their time in town hall. So if anybody doesn't
Motion
have
to
any,
adjourn?
One quick
Yeah,
thing, Mike, one quick thing. Just off the top of my head, I believe the farmland rollback is 2 years, but let Murdy reconfirm that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Powell.
Right.
okay. Motion to adjourn meeting.
So moved.
Second,
Second. Everybody have a good night. Thank you very much.
Have a good night. Happy holiday. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Bye now.
Yep. Good night.
Night all.